Hey everyone, it's me again and welcome to Faith's Favorites. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Faith Grenade and I put makeup videos here on YouTube. And you should subscribe and hit that little bell icon down below. It'll notify you every time I upload so you don't miss a minute of this riveting action. I'm wearing a Chewbacca shirt. What you've stumbled across is Faith's Favorites, which is a favorites video. So creative? You've stumbled across Faith's Favorites. I'm basically going to tell you guys what I've been digging. Not necessarily this month, not necessarily in the last few months. It's just I do these randomly. You guys know this. First, I'm going to talk about some makeup. And believe it or not, I actually do have one hated this time around. I do have one product that I absolutely despise. You guys will hear about that in a minute. So let's go ahead and get into the makeup first. Just fair warning, a lot of these are going to look pretty familiar to you because I've been super busy with work and performing gigs and all that stuff. I have not had time to actually sit down and play with makeup in like the last month. I have said these in, I think, 2 favorites videos in the past, but they bear repeating because they're amazing. The Physicians Formula Butter line, specifically the Butter Bronzer and the Butter Blush. My favorite shades are the Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer, the original one, and I also love the Butter Blush in the shade Vintage Rouge. I love these. They're just pigmented enough to sit on my skin really nicely, but not so pigmented that they're overwhelming. They blend so beautifully into the skin. I'm wearing them today. They last all day long on me. I never have to worry about them fading or anything like that. They look fantastic. They're great for your natural everyday makeup look. Another cheeky favorite is the Wet n Wild Baked Blushes. I've talked about these in the past. You guys saw these, I think, at some point. I can't actually remember if you did or not, but I absolutely adore these blushes. They're so stunning. My favorite shade on myself of the 3 is Don't Flutter Yourself. This is the perfect, gorgeous peachy shade. It's got a little tiny bit of like a silvery gray shimmer to it, so it just really wakes you up. And these things are shimmery. They're like metallic shimmery. So shimmery. But yet, so when I swatched them out at first, I was like, oh no. Like, metallically shimmery blush, oh god. Because I thought they were going to be too shimmery and they were going to make me look like greasy. Being someone who does get oily from time to time throughout the day, especially in the summertime, I do not want to look like a grease ball. These don't do that. They are just pigmented enough. They're quite buildable. In particular, the shade Dare to Soar, which is the darkest color, will look gorgeous on deeper skin, but it works on me too because they're nice and buildable. And they're shimmery, but they don't look as metallic on the skin as they do in the swatch. These are so beautiful. They make your cheeks look glowy and fresh and awake and alive. You can see I'm wearing them today. This makeup is currently about 6 hours old and the blush is still there. It's not just still there, it's still very visible, which is huge for me because blushes tend to be the first to fade on me, and this is still alive and kicking. Makeup product that I've been about, let's talk about some lashes real quick. These are the Ardell lashes in the style 113. These are stunning. You guys have heard me talk about these before too. I can't help it. They're amazing. They look like you got eyelash extensions done at a salon, but you didn't have to pay $200 and worry about them falling out and worry about, like, if you want the length and the fullness of eyelash extensions without the commitment factor, these are gonna be your thing. They just, every time I wear those, I get compliments on my lashes. Like, people ask me what mascara I use because they look real. Moving right along to brows. So, I tried the Kat Von D 24-hour brow pomade. It's okay. I noticed it smudges on me. My favorite pomade, still and always, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. in the shade Taupe specifically is the one I use. But today I'm talking about brow gel. This is the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. If you've always wanted to try the Benefit Gimme Brow but couldn't get behind that Gimme Brow price tag, this stuff is awesome. It's a fiber brow gel, it's got a tiny little brush, and it's just perfect for combing your brows into place. It's got a little bit of hold, but it's got those fibers, so it's gonna make your brows look nice and full. But I like this as a touch-up brow product too. Like if I come home from a work shift and I have something else I need to do that night, it's perfect to kind of touch up my brows and just freshen them up a little bit. So next is a product that you've probably seen on my channel plenty of times. I might have talked about it in a favorites video at one point, but the L'Oreal Color Reshine lipsticks. The lipsticks that are in a package that looks like this, grab them. They're so, so good. This particular one is the shade Varnished Rosewood, which I've worn a time or two. It's pretty nice. My favorite is the shade Glossy Fawn. Literally, like, it's in my purse right now, which is why I can't go get it. But, it is literally in my purse because I wear that thing constantly. It's like my lips, but hydrated. You know, my lips, but not bone dry. And my skin this month has been a bit of a mess, and I'll explain why a little later. But one of the things that happened to me this month is my lips got so dry. I mean, my lips are normally chronically dry, but I got a big fat crack right down here on the side of my lip. It's still healing, and oh my gosh, it was horrible. This was one of the only products that I could comfortably wear that would keep my lips hydrated all day, but it still gives you that like put together feeling. It still gives you that look of like, I'm wearing something. Now I'm gonna talk about something that was not so great in my life. You guys have seen this before. You've heard me rave about this before. It's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Redness Correcting Cream. I know what you're thinking. Faith, you love that stuff. And it's true, I did. Until I started having to wear makeup literally almost every day. I, basically got told by my employer that I had to start wearing makeup every time I went to work. No big deal. I already had a complexion routine that I absolutely loved. Put on my tinted sunscreen, put on my redness corrector, finish up the face, done. So I was super excited. I was like, yeah, man, that's no problem. So I start doing that. And then I start getting pimples. The first couple, I could write off. Yeah, it's about a week and a half before my period. Maybe I'm just, got some hormonal breakouts going on. No big deal. But then more started showing up. In the last couple of weeks, I've gotten like 7 pimples, and they're like massive pimples too. You can probably still see them even though I'm wearing a little bit of a coverage product. You can still see the scabs left behind and the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation left behind by all of these pimples. I had like 8 of them all on my face at once, and I was like, hold on, this is too much. Like, my skincare routine is on point. Ever since I went to esthetician school, my skincare routine's been on point. Everything's been good. And I was just completely perplexed. I was like, where are all these zits coming from? And so I took a picture of them, and I went on one of my esthetician forums, and I talked to some of my colleagues, and I was like, yo, guys, what is this? This is driving me crazy. And one of them was like, you started getting them after you started wearing makeup every day. Think you found your answer. Because it was this. This broke me out horribly. And it's funny because it never used to do that. I've been using this for some time now. And I never had that problem when I was doing makeup maybe like once a week. But when I started using it every other day, sometimes every day, that's when this stuff really freaked out my skin. And I don't know why I didn't notice it sooner, because I literally only broke out in the areas where I applied the redness corrector. Because I don't put it all over my face. I only put it on the sides of my nose here and on my chin. And that's where I was breaking out. And I was like, holy shit. Duh. So unfortunately, I can no longer recommend this to you guys because my skin was actually doing really well. And it's kind of a sore spot with me because I worked really hard to get my skin to where it was, to the point where I was getting compliments on my skin. People loved my skin. My clients loved my skin and they trusted what I told them. And, you know, it took me a long time to get my skin to the point where I wasn't breaking out, where I wasn't beet red all the time. And I'd finally gotten it to that point where I could just wear tinted sunscreen and that's the only coverage I needed. And now it's like I'm all the way back to square one at this point, because even after these scabs heal and even after the blemishes stop showing up, I still have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation to contend with. I still have, you know, all kinds of other problems to contend with, so fuck this stuff. But yes, let's talk about music and other like non-makeup-y type favorites. Music, I've been really loving. You guys know I love me some Deer Hunter. I love the Deer Hunter. I've been listening to them like non-stop. But the past couple of months, I've been really into Post Malone. I don't know why I feel like kind of embarrassed to say that, because it's like you would think, you know, goth kid, I'm gonna be super into like The Used and Avenged Sevenfold and My Chemical Romance and Marilyn Manson. I still love all those things, but I also love Post Malone. His music is really good. It's like good like get hype music before I have to go into a service. Like it's music that makes you feel badass. I listen to it when I'm getting ready for drag because it gets me in that mindset. You know what I mean? It gets me in the killing it mindset. Post Malone's new album, you know, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, is so good. And then Cardi B's album came out and I have a low-key love affair with Cardi B. I love Cardi B. There, I said it. I absolutely love Cardi B. I think she's fantastic. She speaks her mind. She was a stripper, mad props. And she's like, you know, she's the ultimate come-up story. And it's so inspiring to like hear that story and be like, yeah man, I can kill this shit, let's do this. And her album is straight fire. I am in love with it. I listen to it all the time. Even my husband is like, what's wrong with you? Like you're listening to Top 40, which is so not like me normally, but those two, Post Malone, Cardi B, totally killing it. I've also been listening to a band called The Family Crest a lot. If you haven't heard them before, check them out. They are kind of like a jam band. There's like 8 or 9 band members, or like 10 or something crazy like that. They have like a violin player, a cello player, a trombone player. It's crazy. But I saw them live. I saw them open for the Deer Hunter a few months ago, and I absolutely fell in love with their sound. And yeah, so definitely check them out too. And that's about it for me, you guys. Those are my favorites for this month. I know I'm kind of phoning it in lately. Again, I'm so sorry. I promise you guys, I'm gonna get more makeup looks. I'm gonna get more tutorials. I'm gonna get more Band T beauty looks inspired by band t-shirts. That series is still alive. It's just I haven't actually had the time in quite a while to sit down and play with makeup, but I'm gonna budget my time a little bit better and I'm gonna get myself to that point. It's just, you know, to be quite frank, my employer was on vacation last week, so between that and all the performing gigs I've had, because it's summer and, you know, summer's like prime time for drag and prime time for variety performances and stuff. So with all of that going on, it's wedding season, all that crazy shit, I've just been stupidly busy. I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt, you know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, you've got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out, or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!